coming to this country, I'm very fortunate that three of my grandchildren have American citizenship, but at the same time does not dilute or lessen the value of their being Filipino. And that's one thing also that is to me a very profound realization. One is that love of country is not about distance. Because in Gawad Kalinga, we have experienced that there are more Filipinos in the United States and Canada who love our country than those who have stayed behind who are destroying it. And secondly, I have also discovered for myself that being Filipino is not about skin color or legal citizenship. To me, anyone in this world who loves my country is a Filipino. And I particularly honor non-Filipinos who love my country enough to marry somebody from the Philippines. And so, I am just providing you a perspective, of our journey as a people. As I said, we have come of age. One thing, Asians, including Filipinos, now have the highest household income in the United States. We also have the lowest unemployment, 6%. We also are the least burdened on welfare. You hardly see any Filipino who is homeless or a beggar in North America. And so it's important for us to realize that we are not an inferior people. That Filipinos can also succeed in the most competitive market in the world. And you should give yourself an applause for that. It is that realization that has brought about the spirit of Gawad Kalinga. That we do not deserve, the Philippines does not deserve to be a poor country. And the reason why it's poor is simply because of 400 years of conditioning in the way that Pavlov conditioned his dogs. We were taught 400 years ago that we are an inferior race. That we are not white enough. That's why Filipinos spend so much money using papaya and all kinds of concoction to make their skin white. We think we're not tall enough. Our ideas are not big enough. We are not smart enough. Well, one thing we must realize that the worst form of slavery and poverty is the poverty of the mind and the heart. It's not the poverty of the pocket. Because the Spaniards have left our country and the Americans are gone. But the greatest oppressor of the Filipino is the oppressor himself. And it is our own emancipation from this conditioning that we are not good enough. That is important for us to believe that the Philippines does not deserve to be a poor country. 400 years ago, the King of Spain took over all our land and gave our patrimony only to a few, particularly the friars, symbolized by Father Damaso in the novel of Rizal. And the ownership of vast tracts of land were given to his relatives because at that time, the friars were allowed to breed. I don't know. According to Rizal. Father Bong, pasensya ka na. And it is for that reason that in the province where I come from, and again with due apologies to Seni, who comes from Negros, vast tracts of land were only owned by a few families, called haciendas. And this is the failure of social justice, where Filipinos have remained landless in their country, squatters in their own land for 400 years. That is at the root of our poverty. When Filipinos are landless, their homes are destroyed because they squat in calamity areas. When they go homeless and hungry, that they migrate to urban areas to squat in Tondo, in Payatas, in Smoky Mountain. Landlessness is the root of our urban squatting and the root of our communist insurgency in the countryside. And government and the rich and the educated have failed to address this in 400 years. And so in Negros, where I come from, 84% of our countrymen are still squatters as of today. And so you cannot start an effective and a viable, sustainable development program when your people are living like animals without motivation to study or to work, simply because they have to struggle for survival every day. Isang kahig, isang tuka. And they are called hampas lupa, always mashed to the ground. Because in Negros, they sleep together with the carabaos for the sakadas. So at night, their bodies, after working hard, are hampas lupa. They're smashed to the ground. And when their homes are destroyed by typhoon, they're smashed to the ground. And when they come to squat in Manila, and they are evicted, and their homes are demolished, they're again smashed to the ground. How do you expect them to be productive? And so our greatest wealth are people. They have become a liability. And so it is the restoration of the dignity of our people, providing them security, providing them dreams and aspirations that will motivate them to send their children to school and for them to work, particularly the men. And so Gawad Kalinga started in 1995 with the rehabilitation of gang members, because many of them, particularly the men, when they feel hopeless and helpless, they form into gangs. So the most notorious gangs in Metro Manila are the Waray-Waray gangs from Samar Leyte. They are the typhoon victims who are forced to squat in urban areas. The Okso Sigi-Sigi gang are my kababayan from Panay and Negros. The Paracali gangs are from Bicol. The Coratong Baleling gangs are from Osamis and Northern Mindanao. And this is what happens when Filipinos are forced to live like animals. They become predatory. And they behave like animals when they live like animals in shanties, in urban slums. And so, we did what we call social engineering. We started with land for the landless. We told the landowners that you are not the enemy of the landless. But if you donate a portion of your land, the rest of your hacienda will go up in value. And we showed this in Murcia. 5 years ago, we got land, 5 hectares of land, and we built 270 homes. Last year, we wanted to expand, but from 200,000 per hectare, it became 2 million per hectare. Land values went up by 10% because of Gawad Kalinga. When it came into the papers, now all landowners in the Philippines wanted to donate a portion of their land, because we created a formula where there is benefit not only to the poor, but for the rich. The communist rebellion failed in the Philippines in the 70s simply because people out of their need and oppression wanted to take over land forcibly. But we showed them that in a democratic Christian country like the Philippines, that we can achieve prosperity peacefully. And so corporations started to invest in GK, mayors and governors started to see this as a viable model of development. And Filipino Americans who have never stopped loving our country and wanted to reconnect with the motherland found this also a credible channel for reconnection with the towns, with the provinces where they come from. So Bicolanos helping Albay, Sorsogon, Camarines, Ilonggos helping Barota and Concepcion in Iloilo, in Talisay, in Silay, in Negros Occidental, and so on. And so we captured the mood of nostalgia for Filipinos who have been away have actually pursued their American dream, have achieved it, and now want to cap their success by building their Filipino dream with us. This is what Gawad Kalinga has done.